Hello everyone. I am super sick right now, and this is not the video I actually intended to make today, but because I'm so sick and I was getting to the point where I was thinking maybe I'll miss out on making a video this week, I thought, let me just stay being sick and let's talk about being sick today. So let me pull this tissue out so you don't have to stare at it the whole time. Hopefully my nose will not run the whole time, but I will be right back. All right, hopefully I don't get the sniffles, but we'll see how this goes. Yeah, I have a cold right now. I am back in California, as I mentioned. I was just here a month ago. Luckily, I got to come again because of my work. And although this time I'm with my husband, which is great because it's always hard being away from each other for a long time. However, he's the one that got me sick, so maybe it's not the best thing. How did he get sick? Now, something he always complains about is the air conditioning in the US and the recirculated air. And he got sick on the airplane. I don't think it was from somebody else. I think it was, which I've heard from a lot of Germans, they're just not used to the recirculated air when you sit in an airplane. And it's the same in the US when we love to use air conditioning. Whenever he's at my family's house, he often also gets sick from the recirculated air, or from the air conditioning, the like machine air inside the house, rather than opening up the windows. So he got here and he was the next morning feeling dry in the throat, and then he got sick. I managed to stay away from it for the first week, and now since yesterday I am feeling like this. So I think it's really interesting how in the US and Germany we handle being sick a little bit different. Now, growing up, if I got sick, it's really common to, I think I have it somewhere in the bed, hold on, to take something like this, which is like Tylenol cold and flu medicine. This is the nighttime one. They also have it for daytime, or Tylenol or Advil or something to handle the pain, to relieve the sinus, and to manage the fever, the mild fever that you have when you have a flu or a cold. But in Germany, I always find it really interesting because they don't. I mean, you don't even have something like that over the counter. I mean, I can just walk into a store here and buy this kind of medicine. In Germany, I think you need some sort of prescription for it, and a doctor usually would never prescribe you that for a cold. I've gone to the doctors before in Germany when I was feeling sick, and they told me to do like a nasal rinse, which is, I don't know exactly what it's called in English or German, but it's like a little thing that you put powder in and you put water in it, and you basically stick it in your nose and let it drain through and clear out your nose. Lozenges or cough drops, which is what I'm using right now. Honestly, I think these are popular in Germany and the US, although the difference is I do notice that the ones in Germany are more natural and have less like sugar or high fructose corn syrup in them. And they tend to be like less sweet, and also a lot more like herbal flavors. But I do notice that those are popular in both countries. And sorry if you can hear someone in the background. My neighbors are talking outside and I am not feeling good, so I doubt I will re-record this video, so sorry about that. And also, hold on one second, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. Us Americans are loud and love to talk, so I just went out to ask them to quiet down a little bit, or else I don't think that you would be able to fully hear me in this video. What was I saying? Yeah, so lozenges or cough drops or bonbons, whatever you call them, I think are popular in both places, but this idea of just like pumping medication in your body to feel better is less common. As I mentioned, like when I went to the doctor in the Germany, they just had me do the nasal spray, and then they just told me drink water and rest. And in a way, I really love this, that, okay, your body will heal itself. Also, like a low grade temperature is not considered necessarily bad, like that's your body fighting the bacteria and that's okay. Whereas here in the US, I think we would just most likely pump up on medication if we can. I'm editing this video right now and I just wanted to input this because as I was editing it, my husband walked in the room and he had a scarf around his neck. And this is something I also thought was funny in the beginning. It totally makes sense. But if my husband is sick, he puts a scarf around his neck and he like keeps it on as much as possible. Also when he's sleeping to like keep his neck warm. And that's something I never had seen before in the US. I also notice, which is I think similar in both places, like if you're feeling sick, especially if you have a flu, here in the US, it's mostly common that we would eat, which I have in the bed, like Ritz crackers. If we have an upset stomach, if you guys know Ritz crackers, it's one of the most popular American cracker brand, or these saltines. As you can tell, I'm sick and I have all this stuff in the bed with me, just like little crackers. And in Germany, it's similar, except for what I notice is it's more like pretzels, like pretzel sticks, or Zwieback, I think it's called, Zwieback. I noticed that people will eat like for an upset stomach. And for drinking, I find it really interesting because some Germans will drink Coca-Cola to feel better. And for me, the thought of drinking Coca-Cola if I'm feeling sick, like that makes me want to vomit. And also my in-laws, they will drink sometimes warm beer when they're sick. I don't know what the purpose of it is, if it's supposed to make you feel better or relax, or I'm not sure. So if you're a German warm beer drinker when you're sick, put in the comments below why. I'm not sure why. But I could never imagine drinking a beer when I'm feeling sick. Here in the US, it's really common, especially like if you have a flu and stuff and you're getting better, to drink something called Gatorade, which is like a sugary electrolyte drink. They come in different colors, different flavors. And we would drink that to kind of like refill the electrolytes in the body. And we also drink something called ginger ale, which is a type of soda that you would drink. So I think some of the remedies are kind of similar of how we handle things. I think the biggest difference is that in Germany, we wouldn't think to pump ourselves up on medication, but rather just take the time to rest. And I think though a large part of that comes in, one moment. Okay, sorry about that. So I think where a lot of that lies in is the work environment, and how that's built in the different countries. Now, in the US, the average American only gets 7 to 8 sick days a year. And in fact, I think like 1/4 of Americans don't get any sick days. That means if you're sick, it just counts as your vacation time. When you get a little bit better job than the average, I think goes somewhere around 7 or 8. Whereas in Germany, if I'm correct, I think it's like 6 weeks, as long as you have a note you can take. And then after that, for special occasions, you can get it. Now it's the same in the US, like if you're having a surgery or something special, depending on the job, you can take like Family Medical Leave Act, or there's different options. I'm not really sure, but just for being sick, like a common cold or flu, most Americans will just push through and go to work when they're feeling horrible. But Germans are more prone to stay at home. Like if you're sick, you stay at home. And I also noticed that like in the work culture, when I started working at my job in Germany, and I got sick and like I came in and I was feeling horrible, my coworkers were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I don't want to miss a day. Like I have to work." And they're like, "But you're sick. Like we don't want to get sick. Like go home and rest, don't like get better and then come back to work." And that was like a mind shift for me of getting used to that, because in the US, you really you don't want to lose out on those days. You don't want to get in trouble or have issues for not showing up. So you just push through and you go to work. And I think I read earlier that the average American takes 2 to 3 sick days a year, whereas the average German takes 11 sick days a year. So that can kind of just show you, but I think that's really just a part of the culture of like rest and get better and take care of yourself. And also, if you really just don't have sick days, you don't want to use them, or you don't want to feed into your vacation time when you're sick. So you just push through, you go, then maybe you get other people sick, and yeah, that's just how it works. So I feel really thankful now. I think my mindset has changed on that also, with the way that like I let myself recover and don't just push myself, even like in my personal life and not in work, of like giving yourself the time to heal feels really, really nice. So with that said, being here at home, it's kind of a bummer because we had a lot of plans and now we have to minimize them at the moment. So today I will stay at home. I'll just rest, perhaps the same tomorrow, and then see how I feel at the beginning of the week. So short video today, nothing super crazy. I'm not feeling well, so I'm going to go back and lay down, and I hope all of you are feeling way better and enjoying the start of summer. See you in the next video. Bye.